Alright, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 2, Onikakushi. Alright. Is it really okay? There's not a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right? Oh god, this reminded me of the needle. Oh. Jeez, I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. If you don't like it, you have to force yourself. I'll just go home and eat it myself. Saying that, she pouted cutely and made a motion as if to snatch the box back. There was some times that made me doubt that she was the same person as Mion, and this was undoubtedly one of those moments. I don't mind at all. I want to chow down on it with thanks from the bottom of my heart. That's not something to be so thankful about that your nose has to run. Shion, who had thought that I might not take the bento, looked down happily. There's not much, but do you want to come in? I could probably make some tea or something. Ah, sorry. Maybe some other time. I'm on my way to work. Oh, that's right. She did say that before. Just rinse the box out with water and give it back to my sister tomorrow, please. Of course. It would only be the proper thing to do after being allowed to eat something that looks this delicious. Well then, I'll take my leave. Ah! One last thing. Shion grew red again as she looked down once more. During that contest with the curry, my sister took your rice without permission, right? My sister fools around too much, so sometimes she gets carried away. She wasn't doing it just to be mean. Hey, it's not like I mind that too much. There are no grudges when it comes to club activities after all. In fact, I should be the one that's thankful for all the thrills and entertainment. Could you tell that to Mion for me? Yes, I think my sister will be very happy to hear that. Well then, I have to go. Shion smiled brightly. After bowing deeply, she left as she looked at her watch. I'm happy, but is this really okay? I looked at the bento box that she left behind. A faint warmth spread through the palm of my hand. If it were Mion, I could see hot sauce, mustard, maybe even a needle being mixed inside. Needle. But really, I don't think that she would go so far as to putting a needle in there. Call back. I opened the box once again and hesitantly tasted a bit. I took a bite, and another. There was no funny business. There was no danger at all, for it was delicious. That's right. That was Shion, not Mion, so there shouldn't have been anything to worry about. I rushed back to my room, eating as I gave my thanks. It was so delicious that my stomach could cry. Shion, no, Mion. When she heard I was so hungry I could die, she brought this over to me. It was delicious to the last bite. By the way, nothing strange had been mixed in. I was a bit embarrassed at myself for being so skeptical. You have received a new tip. It was delicious. Alright, view new tips. Achievement unlocked. Food for thought. It was delicious. Da-da-da. Hey, Mion. Here. What is it, Kei-chan? I thrust the bento box you'd given me yesterday at her face. It had the food you gave me in it. Thanks. It was great. Heh. Mion's face quickly flushed bright red. Hey now, you were the one pretending to be Shion when you gave it to me. You're gonna give it away if you get all red like that when you're being Mion. At this rate, she might trip and fall right into her own grave, so I decided to help her out. Listen, I was pretty hungry yesterday. Out of the blue, Shion came all the way to my house and gave me some food in a bento box. This is that box. Make sure you wash it out. Right. Shion's really considerate, huh? That was so transparent. Was Mion always this terrible at lying? Her expression was different than usual, but it looked strangely cute. So, what did you think? You two are like peas in a pod. You're twins, right? Obviously, you look the same. Not that, Mion looked kind of bewildered, like she was waiting for a specific answer. When she said impression, maybe she didn't mean Shion, but the bento? Oh, of course. It was delicious. Really? I never lie about liking food. If I say something's good, then it's objectively good. You can feel free to give my recommendations to every single person you meet. Tell Shion it was seriously great, alright? Ah, okay. Tell Shion, right? I will. I think she'll be happy. We're going along with Shion having given it to me. Now Mion, aren't we? Oh, not Mion, aren't we? Yet her laugh, it came from deep down, and it sounded really happy. I guess she really can laugh nicely enough that just looking at her makes me feel better too. A sarcastic remark made its way onto my tongue, but I swallowed it back. As Mion went to put the bento box in her bag, she noticed a clattering noise. Kei-chan, there's something inside. Huh? Wow. God, she opened it. The thing inside was a little embarrassing, so I wish she hadn't opened it here. Panicking, I hit it with my hands. Well, my mother told me to put them in as thanks. I didn't come up with it or anything. Don't get the wrong idea. It's so pretty. Candy. There was a handful of candy neatly wrapped in the paper inside the sparkly clean bento box. When I was cleaning the box out yesterday in the sink, Mom came over and interrogated me, and I fessed up as to giving me the food. Then she told me that something like this called for a display of gratitude. I didn't want to because it was embarrassing, so I argued that it wouldn't be like me to do that. Well, that's what happened. I mean, ugh. I was so embarrassed I felt like fire might shoot out of my face. Mion laughing the whole thing off like she usually did would be fine, but for some reason she was staring at the candy in the box with fascination. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank my mom, she put them in there. But besides, you're not the one I need to be thanking, right, Mion? Those are for Shion, okay? Aha, right. You're right. Okay. I'll be sure to tell Shion. I just know she'll be happy. Mion, looking a little downtrodden, put the lid back on the box. Seemed like I ended up saying something a little mean at the end. Michan, you look sort of cozy today. Did something happen? Did it? Perhaps she caught a fever. The red in her face is probably due to the increased body temperature. Hey, Rika, why are you petting my head? So Toko, I'm sure you'll be able to catch fever soon enough. Pet, pet, pet. Alright. Exit that and let's continue onwards with the story. I might have explained this before, but phys ed at our school was really just an exercise in disorder. After some random warm-ups, the rest of the time is spent doing whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep. I'm not really sure, but doesn't the Board of Education have some sort of curriculum for this? Something like, when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability? I have no idea what you're saying, Keiichi-san. It's rather difficult to understand. Well, you see, it's something like a rule for teachers to allow to follow during class. Ha ha ha. Maybe you weakling city folk need something like that. But do you really think us country raids kids would lag behind with physical ability? We're better athletes than you would think, Keiichi. Come to think of it, they might be right. If we all lined up for a race, there was a good chance I'd finish dead last if I didn't start off well. Let's just pray that when a brutal penalty game is at stake, the 100-meter dash isn't a club activity. On that note, I watch too much television, so I'm fantastically tired. I'll be using this time to catch up on my sleep. It's fourth period and I'm completely starved. If I don't sleep now, when will I ever? As I began to sprawl out on top of a pipe, Mion grabbed me by the collar. Do you really think I'll let you sleep in peace and quiet? With that look on your face, it'd require more courage to try and take a nap than not. Good grief. Which means... it's going to start again. Ooh, excuse me. Now! Just killing time with idle chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-blooded youth, isn't it? Shall we start a club activity? Just as I thought. It's come to this. What's today's game? Now that this is happening, taking a nap is impossible. Not just that, with this sleep-deprived head of mine, I'm as good as minced meat. I have to get my brain into gear. Reina thinks that we should decide what today's penalty game should be before we start. Hehehehe. Reina knows what's up. I've prepared something special today. She began to announce the cruel penalty game with a grand spitting flourish. But before she could do that... I'm sorry. I have something that I wanted to do. Of all people, it was Rika-chan announcing her non-participation. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing her timing, Mion spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground. What? Huh? What's the matter? Are you not feeling well? Oh, that's right. Mi-chan, she has to practice for the Watsunagashi. That's right. Is this Sunday? Rika is in the middle of super serious training right now. I've been working too hard lately, so my arms hurt. I see. Well, there's nothing that can be done. There's no point in doing anything if we can't get everybody together. Today, let's just take it easy. I'm very sorry, but I'll try my best. Yeah, good luck. We'll be cheering you on. When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika-chan and Sotoko headed off behind the school building. Only I was left alone, completely clueless as to what everybody was talking about. What was that about? Is Rika-chan training for a competition or something? Rika-chan is a shrine maiden for the Watsunagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance. It's practice for that. Why don't you explain things in order? First of all, what is this Watsunagashi? Next, what do you mean by shrine maiden? Last, what do you mean by ritual dance? Huh? Didn't you get the notice at your house, Kei-chan? Wasn't it written there? The Watsunagashi festival is this Sunday. Huh? Come to think of it, I have a feeling Mom did say something about it during dinner the other day. The Watsunagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June. It's very lively. I see, but Watsunagashi sounds like a pretty strange name for it. Is it something like the Lantern Festival, where they have a memorial for the dead by floating things down the river? Oh, I figured you might guess right, Kei-chan. The Watsunagashi, or Cotton Drift Festival, is as the name implies, where we set cotton adrift down the river. The cotton, you see, is from futons or jackets, so it'd be something like a futon memorial? They also pile futons upon the altar. I've heard of people leaving offerings of things like needles or kitchen knives to their ancestors or casualties of war, but an offering of futons is a first for me. What's the history behind that? Mion tilted her head pensively. I don't think there's a complicated backstory to it. The winters around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to ward off the cold are fairly important, I guess. Ah, I see. In other words, it's something like giving thanks to the futons that took care of you during the winter then. Then the Shrine Maiden holds a memorial service for them and sets them adrift. That's what the Watsunagashi is? Mion Reina indicated that I had the correct answer with a round of applause. And you see, that Shrine Maiden performing the memorial is Rika-chan. Oh? So Rika-chan is a Shrine Maiden. Now that you mention it, Rika-chan does have a mystical air about her, right? Right? Rika-chan in a Shrine Maiden outfit. How so cute! It certainly does seem like it would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute. I finally get what you're saying. Rika-chan's training is for her performance as a Shrine Maiden then. That would be it. The Shrine Maiden has to purify a number of futons as part of the ceremony. It's practice for that. It's a lot of hard work. The Shrine Maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite, and it is really heavy for Rika-chan. Well, Rika-chan is pretty small. Exactly, how heavy is that hoe? It's pretty heavy. Enough that Rika-chan has been practicing with a mochi mallet. Wait a minute, that's way too heavy. Forget about Rika-chan, that'd be rough for even me. It's a sacred ceremonial hoe. If she dropped by accident, it'd be trouble. Well, it's a once a year kind of deal. all we can do is cheer from the sidelines. It'll be okay. She pulled it off last year. Really? Then the least I can do is cheer her on. Even something that little would help, right? I was rather curious about it, exactly how she practiced. Mion laughed as she shook her head. Leave her alone. If you go, Rika-chan will get all cute and won't be able to practice. I didn't quite understand what Mion was saying. You see, Rika-chan doesn't like showing people how hard she works, okay? So just leave her be. Even the always cool and aloof Rika-chan has times when she sweats while giving it her all. Because she was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ungainly side of her. It's not like I couldn't understand that feeling. All I can do is pray for her success, huh? Do your best. Rika Furude, I'm cheering for you. Well then. I climbed up onto the pole and plopped down on my side. Hooray, hooray, Rika-chan! In order to transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now. So you're just gonna sleep after all. The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition. I might have gorged myself a bit too much. I'll have to endure afternoon classes. Ha ha ha! Keiichi-kun, you had an amazing appetite today. Basically, you always eat like a pig, but today was on a whole different level. Yesterday I skipped lunch, right? That hunger just soaked right in. This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. Ahaha, I get you. But really, Kei-chan, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Heck, even down to the last grain of rice. With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made it by eating it, you know? If you leave any behind, it's rude to the person who put all that effort. Hearing that, Mion's eyes momentarily widened in surprise, followed by a cool laugh. Kei-chan, really? At first glance, you seem unruly and irresponsible, but you're actually pretty conscientious, well-disciplined, or something like that. Ah, yeah, Reina thinks so too. Keiichi-kun is a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented at all. That's not true. I just wanted to say that there's a big gap between your appearance and your personality, and I'm saying that's not a compliment. Hey! Sonozaki-san, Maibara-kun, we're in the middle of class. How far did you get? Sonozaki-san, bring up your notes. Startled, Mion vocalized a rather easy-to-understand utterance. She was so enthralled in the conversation, she had stopped working completely. Doing alright? You haven't progressed at all. You're in the highest grade, so you have to shape up. That Mion, it looks like she's getting lectured. Bastard, poor bastard. Appearances can be deceiving, in other words. Actually, appearance might be the opposite of reality. You say some interesting things. Responding to Reina's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze to where Satoko was, happily studying together with Rika-chan. Are you saying that brat Satoko is actually really meek? If I went by what Reina literally said, that would be the case. I could hardly imagine Satoko being meek and gentle like a girl in some fairy tale. Satoko-chan's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. She actually acted really spoiled and always, yep. Keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay? That's Satoko, acting so cute. For Satoko to play coy, I think that would have to be some part of some calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I wouldn't think it was because she was attached to them. But since it came up, I tried to imagine a gentle and coquettish Satoko. Hey, Satoko. What is it, Oni-sama? Satoko smiled cutely and walked towards me. By the way, for every 3 steps forward Satoko took, for some reason I took 3 steps away. Oni-sama, why are you running away? Sorry, Satoko. For you to approach me with an affectionate smile on your face, I just have to think it's some sort of trap. That's so mean! Oni-sama, you meanie! Wow! Sorry, I didn't intend to be so mean. The weeping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Click. Yep, clank. Huh? A bear trap? My leg was being clamped down on by jagged metal teeth. Oh ho ho ho! You fell for it! Now for the next part. Satoko raised her right arm triumphantly and traps began to trigger one after the other. Suddenly, the wall sprang forward, throwing me three blocks away. And there I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes hurtling towards me. On top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me was a giant guillotine. I'm not really sure, but Keiichi-kun, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you? Not really. Not really. Not at all. That's a lie. You've got the kind of look on your face that says, I'm gonna be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball. How come my expression conveyed that I was thinking like that? Sorry, imagining a meek and gentle Satoko is impossible right now. I'll try again when I'm in better shape. Next, I looked over at Rika-chan, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came at me by saying, Oni-sama, I'd hug her. Tightly. I could get used to that. Keiichi-kun, you're drooling. Sorry. Then how about Rika-chan? Are you saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika-chan really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she was really quite sly, sweetly. How do you put it? Evading things deftly. I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining to words, but Reina managed to say what I wanted to do. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that. When Rika-chan grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty with men wrapped all around her little finger. Don't you think that would be cool? Reina said that lightheartedly, but I, as a man, couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Reina and I, feeling as if it was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. How so cute, so cute! Reina, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well then, what about our dear leader, Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Reina's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion also had a side of her that bellied appearances. Then, what you're saying is that Mion, despite her appearance, is actually a good person? And with that, that's where I'm going to end this episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!